Being limitless, having no limits, being able to achieve everything we want. Something we all dream about, I think. I know it's something I dream about, and it's something I desire, but it's not something I've quite achieved yet. And the reason I haven't achieved it has a lot to do with me. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Lori McDowell. And on this episode of Monday Mindset Mastery, I don't have any guests today. I just got back in town last night. But I want to talk about limits and the ability to be limitless. Um, Often we are the ones who limit ourselves, or we hang around with people that limit us. We place ourselves in positions that stop us from achieving what we want. Why? That's a great question. The reason is often fear. It's limiting beliefs that come from an event that happened in our past, something in our childhood, something when we were younger that we hold on to. It's the lack of confidence, the belief that we need to be perfect before we could do something. Often it's fear, something tied to fear, whether it's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being good enough, fear of being an imposter, um, fear that people aren't going to like us. I think I've faced all of them at some point in my life. I don't know about you. This last week, I was working at an event. It was a speaker training event, but it was more than that. It was a transformational event, and I was part of the team. Although I had to arrive at the event later than everyone else, I had a commitment, so I missed the team fun day, the team building day where we really got to know each other, and I missed the training day where we learned about the event. When I showed up, the event had already started, and for that, and I slid in and found out what I needed to do, and the event was amazing. I had a great time. Yet I felt like I was limiting myself the whole time, and it resulted in me feeling a little bit disconnected, me not getting as much out of it as I could have. I was limiting myself, and it was based on that my feelings that I was not a full part of it. Maybe people weren't happy with me being there late, or that I wasn't. I don't know. I just felt like I was limiting myself. And I know when I do that, I don't get the results I want. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. When you limit yourselves, the results aren't there. We limit ourselves, we stop doing the things we really want to do, we end up being stuck. And being stuck, you never go. Being stuck is not the way you get what you desire. So I know I've been doing these Mindset Mastery, and we learn a lot about all the different guests that I have. I've had some amazing guests, and I have a lot more scheduled. And I love meeting all the new people and learning about their story and about where they came from. And I haven't really shared my story through this last 6 months or so as I've been doing it. So today I wanted to see if I could share a little bit about my story and my limits and my plan to be limitless, my plan to allow myself to do the things I've always wanted to, because I feel like I've been waiting for about 40 years and it's time to stop waiting. So as I said, I'm Dr. Lori McDowell. Today I am an author, a speaker, a mindset coach, retreat curator, reinvention strategist, and I guide people to creating extraordinary lives, to creating lives of joy and fulfillment. And it's really about why I do this. It's not so much what I do, but why. I believe the world is an amazing place, and I believe the world is full of possibilities, and that we limit ourselves, we stop ourselves from getting that, and we all deserve to live these extraordinary lives and experience these extraordinary things. And I want to help people do that. I want to guide them to do it. And I think when we all do that, we'll make more impact. The world will be a better place. When we're living extraordinary lives, we won't be fighting wars or, hating people. We'll be full of love, and we'll be doing God's plan, God's mission for all of us. So that's why I do what I do. And that started, as I said, I'm living an amazing life, yet it's not perfect. I do have a lot of challenges. I don't am not at where I need to be, but it's great. And despite those challenges, I love it every day. However, it wasn't always like that. Back when I was a senior in high school, um, my younger sister, Stacy, she was 4 years younger than me. She got in a car accident. She was hit by a car on a highway. Her head hit the divider of the highway. She was in a coma for months. I don't remember exactly, 4 months, 5 months. When she came out of the coma, we didn't know she was going to make it. When she came out of the coma, she was never the same. She suffers a traumatic brain injury. She still has brain damage today. She needs care. She's in her late 50s now, but she still needs a lot of care. She can't be left on alone, and she has the brain of a 13-year-old, which is where she was. She also has a lot of anger. She's not happy, which I can understand that. But when that happened, I lost a lot of things. I lost my sister. No, she didn't die, yet she was no longer the sister that I had. Even though we fought all the times, I had these envisions that when we got older, we would be best friends. We would be at each other's weddings. We would, our kids would be friends, and that never happened. I lost that. I also lost my parents at the time in some way because suddenly she was their focus, which was completely explainable. But I was leaving for college the next year, and I had to do that all on my own. I also suffered guilt because that night that Stacy had gotten that accident, my mom was picking her up. But I remember my mom asking me if I could pick her up. And I said, sure. I was out with my friends. It was a Friday night. I said, yeah, if I remember, if I'm done in time, I'll pick her up. Well, I was out with my friends, senior in high school. We were drinking, we were hanging out. I completely forgot about that. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but I feel like I didn't pick my sister up. Maybe my mom did. Maybe I would have gotten there before the accident. I don't know. But that's something that happened, and it changed my life in a number of ways. As I said, I feel like I lost my sister, and I temporarily lost my parents and really was thrown into a place of doing themselves. Yet it also had an impact on my life. I think that's when I started feeling I that life is short, that we never know what tomorrow is going to bring, and that this is an extraordinary life and we need to live it. So that's kind of the start of when I felt like, don't waste time, do those experiences, live those things that you mean. Um, a few months later, I was driving home to visit my family. It was a Friday night. It was raining hard. I was on the New Jersey Turnpike up towards New York City where I grew up. And I was listening to the radio. I think it was Madonna. I can't say for sure, but if I remember correctly, I think it was a Madonna playing on the radio, and I'm, singing and dancing and probably driving faster than I should have. I was anxious to get home. It was dark, it was raining hard, and I was in the left lane of the turnpike. I hit a puddle, and as I hit the puddle, the car started to skid, and I tried to remember what do I do? Do I, don't step on the brake? I remembered that, but do I turn into the skid? Do I turn away from the skid? Whatever, I didn't do the right thing, and the car started to spin. And as I'm spinning and I'm facing into oncoming traffic, all I could think of was, God, please don't let me die. My parents can't lose another daughter. And I saw, it felt like hours. It was probably 30 seconds, but my car spun and I was just waiting, bracing for impact and praying that I didn't die and that it wasn't that bad and praying that I didn't kill anyone else. And somehow my car went across 4 lanes of traffic. I did a complete 360 and I ended up on the side of the road on the right shoulder facing forward. And I looked around and I was okay. I hadn't hit anything. So I looked around seeing who else, what accidents had I caused? And no one else had hit anything either. Somehow I went across 4 lanes of traffic on a Friday night in the dark, rush hour, in the pouring rain, up on the New Jersey Turnpike outside New York City. And at that moment, I felt like God had a purpose for my life. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was meant to do something. And I spent a lot of the rest of my life trying to figure out what that purpose was. I went to college, I graduated, I became an engineer, started working in the environmental field. I thought I would do something amazing, clean up the world, deal with global warming, cure cancer, something amazing. And I just kept looking for that purpose. And sometimes I'd do something really great, and then I'd get lost in the busyness of life. And I never felt like I reached that purpose. I had a good life. I had great jobs. I had ups and downs, but something was always missing. And I think what was missing was that purpose. Until recently, I ended up getting fired from a job in a horrible fashion. And as I was driving home after that experience, I realized that that was it. That was my sign that this was my time to live my purpose. And that's why I do what I do today, which is to really guide people to live their purpose, to do that through knowing that they have no limits, to claiming their own power, to realizing that what happens to us is not important, it's our choices. And as I said, I'm still not perfect, but I want to share a couple things with you that I hope will help you realize that you have no limit. I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, yet I am perfect. I am the perfect Lori McDowell. There is not a better Lori McDowell in the world. And just like I'm perfect, you're all perfect too. You're the perfect you. And I believe God made us in his image, which means we're all perfect. We're the perfect us. We have everything we need. We wouldn't have been put here without it. So we have everything we need inside of us, and we're holding ourselves back. We don't believe we're good enough. We don't believe we deserve stuff. And what I want to tell you is I believe we do. We all deserve extraordinary lives. We all deserve to live our purpose, to make an impact, to do something amazing. And the first step of that is really self-care and self-love. You can't pour from an empty cup. You've probably heard that before. So you need to make your cup overflowing. And to do that, you need to love yourself. You need to give yourself everything that you need, whether it's self-care, self-love, belief in yourself, knowing that you're amazing, knowing that you're deserving, knowing that you were born to live an abundant life. And in doing this, you will have no limits because there are no limits on us other than those we set ourselves. When you love yourself, you'll be able to love others fully and you'll be connected and you'll be able to share all that is good in the world and it will be an abundant, extraordinary life. I really believe this. And it's why when you go through challenge, I mean, I met so many people who've gone through horrible things and challenges. And the difference between the people who live extraordinary lives and just the people who just go through the motions is those challenges are just that. They're opportunities to learn, they're opportunities to grow, they're things that happen to us, yet they don't affect us. They don't change our choice. They don't change the person we are. They don't change what we believe and how we react. That comes from our heart. It comes from inside of us. It comes from being who you're meant to be and living your purpose. So I believe the first step in being limitless is to know your values, know your passion, know your purpose, and to live it no matter what happens. You can live your purpose wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever your economic state, whatever your state in life is. You can live an extraordinary life. I really believe that. And we do get lost, we get busy, and just knowing that that's okay because we can get it back. It's inside of us. We're the perfect us. We deserve everything. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this short because it's just me. I don't have any profound questions to ask. I just felt like I had a little bit of a tough week. It was amazing, and yet it brought up a lot of thoughts in me. And I wanted to share those thoughts with all of you because sometimes, even if we do have a tough week, life is still amazing. We can still live extraordinary lives. We can still have no limits and do and achieve everything we want to. I truly believe that for me, and I believe that for you. I believe it for everybody. It's why I get up every morning to help people create and live their extraordinary lives. And it's why I'm sharing this with you. So I'm going to end here. I know it's only 15 minutes. I hope you got something. Please reach out to me in the comments or my email, lmcdowell@reimagineu, the letter u.net. I want to hear what you think. I'd love to connect with you. You can book a call with me if you'd like at booklori.net, Lori. I love to meet people and I want to hear about your extraordinary life and the limitless things you're going to do. And I'd love to help you get there if I can. Like I said, I just wanted to share this. So happy Monday, happy Mindset Monday mindset. I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, let me know because that would really, I would love that. I would love to know that I made a difference today, and that I helped someone else create an extraordinary life. So thank you so much. Comment, reach out, email me. Love to hear more. Have a fantastic day. I love you all. Bye bye.